Marjorie Taylor Greene pushes national divorce again. Marjorie Taylor Greene has dusted off her favorite slogan, national divorce. This week, she declared the U.S. isn't safe, and the left and the right have nothing left to talk about. Let's be clear, secession is unconstitutional, and Republican leaders from Spencer Cox to Liz Cheney have called this rhetoric evil and reckless. But Greene knows exactly what she's doing. In today's attention economy, the more extreme the statement, the more airtime you get. Every time she floats a national divorce, time for America to go through a national divorce, she gets headlines. Fundraising goes up, and yes, even airtime here. Outrage is her currency, and she spends it well. Okay, what's the real message here when Marjorie Taylor Greene says it's time for us to have a national divorce? One big problem with that, the so-called left states, the blue states, the liberal democratic states, they're the ones who make all the money. The red states are basically welfare cases. They suck out so much more money from the blue states. They would starve to death. They can't exist without all that money flowing from California and New Jersey and New York. And that is why we will never have a national divorce. Sorry, Marjorie. Let's dig a little deeper. The other big problem with this whole idea is it's not like all the Democratic voters, or in any one state, it's all Democratic voters or liberals or centrists, as I think of as most Democrats, or people on the left and Bernie Sanders. It's not like they're all in one state and there are so-called red states where everyone 100% unified for Trump, MAGA, Republican politics. It's not like that. In fact, in any one state, you can say, well, this city leans this way, this city leans that way. Forget the states. You can go down a street and say, well, this particular resident, Tom and his family, they vote this way, and Sanjay and their family, they vote another way. Forget the street. Go in your own house. I'm sure, I know in my own extended family, we have people who are big fans of one political party and one particular philosophy that's dominant now, and many who favor another philosophy and political party. We're all able to get together at Thanksgiving, but to have a national divorce, which one of us is going to move to another state? And in some cases, it's people who actually married have very political philosophies. So this is why the whole idea of a national divorce is frankly silly. Shame on me for giving Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene yet more attention. It's what she lives on. She doesn't live to govern. The number of substantive pieces of legislation that have actually helped any of her constituents, I think I'm being generous when I say that's zero in her time in Congress. This is the bizarre thing going on in America, where we have people get elected to the most deliberative body, the most important legislature arguably in the world, not just the Senate, but the House. And their only goal seems to be, how can I get famous enough so that when I quit, I can have a YouTube show and make $10 million a year? They're using it as a stepping stone. And it's frankly bizarre. The skill set of getting attention online as a YouTube creator, a TikTok creator, is one particular skill set. The skill set of actually crafting legislation to create public policy, to improve the economy for everyone, to improve the healthcare, to improve the lives, to improve the educational system of everyone. Completely different skill sets. Yes, you do need good communication skills in either way. And yes, you do need to be able to put a spotlight on a problem before you can come up with a solution. So there's clearly some overlap. And I think former President Biden rightfully was criticized for his inability to communicate in the modern era. But at some point we go too far when increasingly we are seeing members of Congress say things that they know will never, ever in a million years have any chance of happening. They're saying that simply to elicit hatred, fear, anger, resentment, and grievance. They're doing it because it makes them more well-known. It gets more clicks, it gets more likes, it gets more views, it gets them invited onto their favorite political news channel or numerous ones, and it helps their fundraising because they can position themselves, I'm a national leader fighting for these national causes. That's the easiest way to raise money, is to spend all of your time demonizing the other party. and a political philosophy. Whether or not that political philosophy has any followers or adherents in another party makes no difference. I mean, I constantly hear people talk about every centrist Democrat as if they were a part of the radical left. I mean, where is this radical left? There is a radical left in Europe. And I do realize most Americans don't spend a lot of time in Europe, but I've spent a lot of time there. There is a radical left. There are actual participants in democracies and parties where people say, let us have the government take control of all the means of production. Let's eliminate private enterprise. I'm not in favor of that philosophy, but that is what the radical left wants. I've never seen anyone in America advocate that other than a couple of kooks who have no followers whatsoever. So this is, at some level, a bit depressing that Marjorie Taylor Greene continues to get so much attention. What's the real message for you and me? I am a communications expert. I've devoted my life teaching presidents of countries, prime ministers, Nobel Peace Prize winners, yes, members of Congress and members of the United States Senate, how to communicate effectively. When I teach people about what gets quoted, I teach them a method where every quote comes from one of 10 soundbite patterns. It could be analogy, it could be humor, it could be a pop culture reference, it could be a rhetorical question. But something I have stressed for the last 30 years, and it continues to be true, is the easiest way to get quoted. Forget about social media. Let's go back 30 years ago. The easiest way to get quoted is to attack someone. And I always stress to people, am I telling you to run around attacking people? No. What I'm saying is be very sparing with your quotes, with your attacks. Use real judgment on what you attack, because if all you want is attention, and then you're an attention merchant, how are you actually accomplishing anything? How are you advancing your goals? Ideally, you have some goal rather than look at me, getting more attention. Because that's the problem with people who get addicted to attention. These attention merchants. And I realize you can say, well, TJ, you're not exactly a shrinking violet. You're posting live, you're posting 11 videos a day on every social media platform. Yeah, but I'm not leading with hate. I'm not leading with anger. I'm not saying, okay, anybody who disagrees with me, if they're 1 inch to the left of me or 1 inch to the right of me, they're obviously beyond the pale and they're extremist. I'd get a lot more clicks if I did that, but I'm not willing to. And I hope you have some standards for yourself too. Just because you can communicate a message to more people, and just because the easiest tool for doing that is expressing rage, doesn't mean you should.